today I want to speak about our amazing sponsor, V&J Auto Body. That's right. V&J Auto Body has now opted to be our primary sponsor here on the podcast, and we couldn't be happier. So V&J Auto Body is a shop that's been around for 40 years. It's a family-owned shop. It still is, okay? Yours truly works there. I have worked there for 9 years. I'm a manager and a writer. We have a fantastic, dynamic crew, right? Professional in all ways. Myself and my partner have between us probably about 40 years combined experience in the insurance industry in various roles. The shop itself is a very progressive shop. And what I mean by that is a future forward-looking shop. We have attained most major manufacturer certifications. All right, most recently, we just became Range Rover certified and Rivian. All right, we continue to move forward in that realm as well. All right, so from a standpoint of being prepared to assist you, the public, in every possible way when it comes to having your collision damaged vehicle repaired and restored to pre-loss condition, V&J Auto Body is the one place you need to be. All right. The shop itself, we have some of the most highly trained technicians. We have the most advanced equipment, right? And we're continually upgrading that and continuing the training, right, for all people. And they really make the investment, folks. I mean, we're sending guys across the country. The owners themselves, James Verone and Chandler, are always attending various industry seminars and various talking heads and folks that are intimately involved in the industry, right? So that we stay ahead of the curve and we know what's happening before it happens. All right, we know what's coming, so we're prepared. All right, we are prepared both intellectually, technically, all right, and also business-wise. All right, and the one thing you can always count on with V&J Auto Body is we're going to represent your interests and not the interests of the insurance company. All right, and we're going to be with you all the way from start to finish. All right, our professional office staff, all right, they're of claim rep quality. All right, and the girls do a phenomenal job. They really know the insurance industry inside out, all right, and they can make sure that your claim gets reported, recorded, and handled the right way from the beginning. All right, so you don't have to worry about that part of the aggravation. All right, V&J is going to take care of all that for you. All right, V&J Auto Body, they are in Lindenhurst and can be reached at 631-226-0070. That's 631-226-0070. Of course, they are on our network at collisionservicenetwork.com. All right, but V&J Auto Body, folks, if you're in the Babylon area, if you live in the town of Babylon, you're in that area, you certainly should be having your car repaired there. So remember, all right, if you get into an accident or you need to file an insurance claim, give the folks over at V&J Auto Body a call, 631-226-0070. They have your back. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of the one and only Crash Course. Yes, and it is the one and only. Started about, I guess, almost 3 years ago on the radio, and we've migrated over here to podcasting. All right, really digging it. So welcome, everyone. If you're a newbie, if hopefully maybe somebody told you about us or you heard about us through other means, and you just want to check us out, check me out, well, welcome to the show. Stick around. I like to say if you stick around long enough, you'll be scratching your head and saying, I never thought about that. All right, that's like what we like to do here. All right, we like to consider ourselves the knowledge people. All right, the people who are trying to help the peeps. All right, so welcome to all the followers of the show, folks. I really appreciate the support. The numbers keep growing. We keep growing. I love it. All right, that's great. I mean, I really think that this show really fills a void, fills a niche. All right, especially at least when it comes to things like obviously auto body, collision, that industry, the insurance industry. All right, and of course we touch a little bit on personal injury and stuff like that. All right, I know it's not exciting, but there is just incredibly misinformation out there. A lot of people are so misinformed, or just, I don't like to say disinformation. It sounds a little nefarious. Sounds like something out of a James Patterson novel or something. But there is that out there too. All right, but Crash Course. All right, we are the voice, of course, of the auto body industry, the privately owned and operated auto body industry, and there is a real distinction there. All right, I talk about that often. All right, but most importantly is we get to speak to you. All right, we get to speak to the folks, and we get to educate you guys. All right, we like to say we're giving you knowledge and information you need and can use, and information you can trust. All right, so or actually advice you can trust. You got to stick with me here. I'm half in the bag today. All right. Didn't get a lot of sleep, damn it. And at my age, that warps your mind a little bit. At any rate, yes, we're giving you information and knowledge you need and can use, and advice you can trust. Okay? And that in itself is a diamond in the rough, right? Advice you can trust. There's a lot of advice out there. I don't know how much of it you can trust all the time, all right? But over here, Crash Course, you can be assured that the advice we give you is rock solid, all right? And, of course, you can go to collisionservicenetwork.com, collisionservicenetwork.com. I am the founder of that amazing webpage, all right, amazing company. So many great things go on there. So many good things are there for the folks. Folks, if you need a body shop, I'm just going to start right off the bat. If you need a body shop, you can't throw a dart at the wall anymore. You can't ask Uncle Carmine or the guy around the block that's drinking and hanging out, and he's telling you got his car fixed by, Tricky Dick's Auto Body, 30 years ago. It's not going to work, folks. All right? And I know it sounds funny, but it's not. It's actually not. And, and I speak from experience. I've been on the collision side over 9 years now. All right? In fact, I'm going to relay a story here that just happened again today. We're going to get into that real. I'm going to hit it real hard. I'm going to hit it real hard today, all right, on the direct repair program, the photo inspections, and all that stuff, all right? I got to hit it again. I'm going out of my mind after today. But anyway, Crash Course is the voice, the real voice, the only voice of the Long Island auto body industry. Make no mistake about that. There's other guys out there. One in particular likes to put it across their big, fancy, colorful magazine and say they're the voice. They're not the voice. They're not the voice. You know why they're not the voice? Because they don't talk to anybody. They don't speak to the people. All right? They don't get out there, and they don't try and explain things. They don't try and deliver information and knowledge to people that they can use like we do. All right? They don't try and give advice to anybody. It's just a little clique, a little group of shops. They're all together, and they get a colorful magazine, and then they claim that they're the voice. They're not the voice of anything. I don't know what the hell they're the voice of, but they're not the voice of the Long Island auto body industry, and certainly they are not the voice for the people when it comes to helping people out, right? That's what we do. We do that the best here, Crash Course. We've been doing this for 2.5 years now. We started on the radio. We're reaching the folks. I like to say we're the voice of the Long Island auto body industry, the privately owned guys, not the guys associated with the insurance industry. We don't care about them, all right? And I'll get to that in a little bit here. All right. We're also the voice of Collision Service Network, right? CollisionServiceNetwork.com, I launched 4 years ago. All right, I can't believe it's been that long already. And, folks, if you need a body shop, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, right, before we get into meat and potatoes and things here, if you need a body shop, all right, you got to go to CollisionServiceNetwork.com. Like I started to say earlier, don't rely on Uncle Louie or, ABC Auto Body or XYZ. It's not going to work, folks. Go to CollisionServiceNetwork.com and trust that the shops there that are on our network, our client business partners on our network, are some of the most amazing, professional, and in a lot of instances, very certified body shops. All right, these folks are customer warriors. They have professional staff. In many instances, most of them have had experience in the insurance industry, like myself and my partner over at V&J Auto Body. All right, and that makes all the difference. Okay, makes a big difference today. Insurance companies are very aggressive, folks, very aggressive today. All right, thanks to our wonderful Governor Cuomo deciding that he was going to pay back his political donors there, the insurance guys, and first thing he did was wipe out the Department of Insurance. So we don't have a Department of Insurance anymore in New York State. We don't. Now it's DFS, Department of Financial Services. Those guys are great at what they do. They're not very good at the insurance part, though. All right, they were kind of merged and then said, "Here you go, you guys can figure this out." All right, so that's not good for us, not good for the consumers, not good for the auto body industry here on Long Island or in New York State. All right, obviously they deal with the state. All right, so very important today that you know who's fixing your car, why they're fixing it the way they want to fix it. Okay, and if you get into the weeds, like I say, who's going to stand up for you? All right, if you're at an insurance company shop, is that guy going to go to bat for you? Maybe, right? Maybe he's going to go a little ways. Do you know how many ways that is? Right, you don't know. And he might tell you he is, right? Oh, yeah, don't worry about it, man. You get into a scrap or there's a problem, we're going to stand up for you, right? Bullshit. As soon as the shit hits the fan, that guy's running for cover, man, because his business model is supported by the very people. All right, check it out. The business model of these direct repair program shops, these insurance company-sponsored shops, listen up, folks. Their business model is directly tied, their financial survival is directly tied to the very people you might have a problem with that you're asking this guy to get in the trenches with you. I mean, how the hell is that going to work out? Right? I mean, if that's not comical, I mean, just listening to myself say that, it's hysterical. Right? But that's the conundrum that you could find yourself in, folks. Right? And it's not a nice place to be. Right? You want your car back. You want to fix right. You want to get back into your car, back on the road, driving your vehicle. You know, the hell with the rental and all this other aggravation. And then lo and behold, there's a problem, right? And then that's where the rubber meets the road. You know, all those cliches there. The bottom line is that guy is probably not going to get in the pit with you, all right? And if he does, you know, how ambitious is he going to be, all right? Probably not. I mean, let's be honest here. He's probably not. All right, and I guess that's good for him. It's not going to be good for you. All right, so please go to collisionservicenetwork.com. Collisionservicenetwork.com. Please go there, and when you do go there, would you kindly opine and leave us a little nicety? All right, we do have a Google review option there. All right, we got into the Google. I didn't have that going for a while, but we do now have the Google capabilities. So please visit collisionservicenetwork.com. Do yourself, your family, your friends a favor. Get familiar with us. Get familiar with collisionservicenetwork.com. Unfortunately, folks, every 10 years, most of us will be involved in some kind of mishap involving our cars. Hopefully not serious. They don't tell you whether it's serious or minor, or they say you're going to have some kind of an altercation with your car. All right, whether it's a single car collision with another car, it doesn't matter. And most of the time, it's within 25 square miles of your home. All right? So figure that one out. All right, anyway, moving right along here. Like I said, welcome everybody to the show. And if you're a regular, thank you very much. Please keep spreading the word. Our ratings keep going up. The numbers keep going up. It's just an amazing thing to see. Crash course. There's nothing like it. It's never been done before. It's been done by us, collisionservicenetwork.com. All right, hey, folks, I want to give you the rundown here, all right? You know, the skinny, you can find us on every major social media platform, right? Instagram, real big on Instagram. Obviously, Facebook. We got a real active, dynamic Facebook page, thanks to my amazing social media manager, Anthony. We can be found, obviously, on Spotify, right? I mean, this is a podcast, all right? So you're going to find us on podcast access sites and podcast platforms. All right, so it's Instagram. Oh, and YouTube. Hey, you like YouTube? I love YouTube. I love YouTube. I love going there. I'm an old fart, right? In my early 60s. I'm a musician. I play the drums. I'm in a band. That YouTube is like crack for me. I don't know. It is like the most amazing thing they ever created for musicians. You YouTube anything. You can YouTube bands from the 60s, and they must have had a guy there with 8mm film or something. It's just crazy. And I love it. All right, so if you love it like I love it, go there. Check us out. We have a YouTube page. It's amazing. Check us out. Subscribe. Our subscription keeps going up. We really appreciate it. All right, and of course, can't leave this out. We have an amazing sponsor now, V&J Auto Body. That's right, V&J Auto Body, located in beautiful downtown Lindenhurst. All right, amazing shop, folks. I can't say enough about them. Thank you very much to James Ravone and Chandler Ravone, the new owners. All right, thank you very much, you guys, for your support and your belief in what we're doing here. All right, they've really helped us to grow, and they continue to support us. All right, folks, V&J Auto Body, Lindenhurst, Babylon, the town of Babylon area. If you live in that area and you need a shop, bar none, you got to go to V&J. Okay, if you have any type of high-end car, all right, they have every major vehicle manufacturer certification, I believe, other than Audi. All right, and we did try and get Audi and BMW. All right, and there is no official or formal system for Toyota. Okay, so we don't have that either. Right, and I say we because I work there. Right, if you guys listen to me, you know, full disclosure, I do work there. All right, I am a writer there and / manager. Been there over 9 years. The shop is phenomenal. I mean, we have a 25,000 square foot facility. We just purchased a 30,000 square foot building next door, and we are just growing in leaps and bounds. All right, and so it's like I like to say, a forward-looking, you know, futuristic body shop, and we have the capability to handle anything and everything now and well into the future. All right, so if your car, your truck is important to you, it's very important to us. It should be very important to you. Like I said in previous shows, all right, after COVID, many people, all right, transitioned back to financing cars. All right, we all know the whole story. We saw it in the used car market went off the hook. Right, the new car market dried up. There weren't enough cars to go around. People demand and the whole 9 yards. So, folks, a lot of us own our cars. A lot of us are buying out leases. It means we now have a personal investment in that. It's not like a rented car, right? Because let's face it, when you're leasing it, you're renting somebody else's property. Do we really give a shit? Probably not. I mean, only to the extent that when you give it back, it better look like it did. Otherwise, they're going to hammer you, right? So it's great. I think it's fantastic because, I mean, growing up when I did in the 60s and the 70s, you know, there was no leasing. At least, I mean, I don't know if it wasn't a formal lease. I mean, maybe there was some professional people that were leasing cars and stuff like that, but it wasn't a mainstream thing, right? Everybody financed their cars. Well, a lot of people bought them in cash. All right, so people, even when I entered the industry in the mid '80s, all right, there was no leasing, none. Okay, so every car was a finance, and people, folks, I gotta tell you, it's people were always personally invested in the outcome of their cars. All right, there's a thing called the appraisal clause. There's a couple guys out there, a couple guys that run these companies, and they get involved with the appraisal clause. I'll explain that one day. It's a little subsection in your auto policy. Basically, what it says is that if your body shop has an impasse, they can't reach an agreed price, you as the insured, not them, you can trigger that aspect, all right, or that part of the that component of the policy, you can trigger that, all right? What I mean by that is you can advise your insurance company that you're calling on the appraisal clause in your personal auto policy, and what it does is it establishes basically two neutral parties, two separate parties to evaluate the damage and a neutral party to basically render a decision. It's kind of like mediation, arbitration type of shit. So, but that was getting used like all the time. All the time when I started in the industry, the appraisal clause, the body shop, I'm going to use the appraisal clause. You know, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And that's because people were so personally invested in the outcome. Right? They own the car. So, you know, we're going to total it. Who gives a shit if I lease it, right? Okay, go ahead, total it. I mean, maybe you're going to, you know, well, not maybe, you're going to lose your deposit, all right? When I was an adjuster, I hated to deliver that message to people. Well, I put $4,000 down. Well, that's too bad. You know. Bye-bye. In business, we call that a sunk cost. And you just got sunk. All right? You don't get that back, folks. But when you own the car, you finance it, then obviously whatever money you put down, right, that went into the equity of the car. At any rate, so, all right, the moral of the story, the moral of this statement is make sure you're going to collisionservicenetwork.com, right, because we're going to take care of you there. Right. By the way, there's information there. It's some really cool stuff there. There's some stuff on me. If you want to find a little bit more out about me, you can see that. There's a lot of question and answers. I think I showed everybody this. All right, this one here is tips for speaking with your insurance company. All right, there's another segment in there with frequently asked questions and answers. All good stuff. Again, I know this isn't, coffee table fare. It's not something you're going to talk about at the barbecue or, if you're camping with your friends. But it's very important, folks. Very important today. All right, these cars are very technical. There's tremendous amounts of technology in these cars. Tremendous amount of materials that these cars are now made with. Some cars may have as much as 5 different types of material in one car. All right, and if you're driving your car and you're dropping it off at some guy's shop because he's a friend of the family, or Uncle Fred got his car fixed there 30 years ago when they were using lead and mercury. Lead to fill panels and stuff and grind that down, and they were using they didn't even have clear coat. All right, so you don't want to end up there. All right, you don't want to be that guy. Okay. Go to ClevelandServiceNetwork.com. Go check us out. And if you would, please opine and leave us a little something. And as I said, V&J Auto Body, the proud sponsor now of Crash Course. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. There's more to come on that down the road with them. All right. So let me see. It's 7 o'clock. All right. All right. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tear here. I got a real bone to pick here. All right, gonna kind of go off a little on the rails here, but I really got to get this off my chest. This shit just burns my ass, and I'm thinking it's gonna burn yours too out there. I really do. So, we talk about money here, right? We do. Let's face it: insurance premiums, getting your car fixed, your deductible, right? That little amount of money that you told the insurance guys you had no problem paying, except for when it actually comes time, and then you don't want to pay it. So in that vein, talking about money, what just burned my ass was how we had to hear, all right, now follow me on this. We had to hear, I think last month, that they're gonna hand over a check for $60 billion. All right? Everybody hear this? Everybody should be freaking pissed like I am. $60 billion. Folks, digest that for a second. $60 billion they're going to hand over to some other, Ukraine, Israel. I don't know, pick something. Okay, we had the people in Lahaina, Hawaii, that got burned up, all right? From what I hear, most of those folks are still running around pitching a tent, okay? Nobody's giving them a house. I heard some kind of bullshit that they got a $750 check from FEMA right away. Never heard anything about that again, right? Nothing to see here. Move on. So we got those folks there. We got the folks out there in, I think it was Ohio, where the train went off the rails and all kinds of shit went into the water and they were all poisoned and chemicals and all kinds of bullshit like that. Most of those people look like they didn't have a pot to piss in out there to begin with. And then we got people that are struggling overall, okay? Do you know what $60 billion does? $60 billion could have got all those people in Lahaina a house. Forget what the hell they were living in to begin with. Just a moderate house, all right? Could have got them a house. Could have rebuilt that whole area. Could have taken care of everybody in I think it was Palestine, Ohio. I don't know. All I know is the train that went off the rails and polluted everything. Yeah, I'm getting the thumbs up. I think it was East Palestine, Ohio. What a disaster that was, right? I mean, did that not piss you off? Right? And forget what side you're playing for. I'm not interested in that. Right? We're not interested in what team you're on or anything like that. Who gives a shit? We're talking about common sense shit here. Is everybody with me here? Because I'm pissed. I had to really get this off my chest. So I'm going to get this on the podcast, and I'm going to see if we're going to drive the ratings from this show right through the roof on this, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are all cheering me on here. All right, I am good and pissed. I'm 61. I've been listening to this shit my whole life about foreign aid and this aid and checks to here and checks to there. You think about all of this. You think about all of this money. It's printed money, too. It's shit we don't even have. They're just printing it. So if you're going to print it, and you don't give a shit if there's anything backing it, all right, while you're on your way of debasing our currency, all right, and making us all poor, why don't you kick that money back to us, all right, because I'm sure we're going to do a lot more with it than all the other assholes in the world. Okay? Everybody with me? Just getting this off my chest. right off the bat because this just pissed me the hell off. $60 billion, folks. $60 billion could have probably paid off half the country's mortgages. I'm just saying. Okay? And what about all the homeless vets? Anybody a veteran out there? Anybody cheering right now, right? Veteran? Okay? Anybody ever served your country? Right? What about those guys? What about those folks, right? Living under an overpass or this and that. Forget about what their circumstance was that led them there. Who gives a shit? All right? I'm talking about veterans. I'm talking about people that raised their hand like I did and said, hey, I'm going to wear the uniform of this country and I'm going to go serve. I'm not talking about whether you're in a war or weren't in a war. I'm just saying people that put the uniform on, whatever the hell it was, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Coast, whatever the hell you chose. They went out there, they did their thing. Lo and behold, they fall on the balls of their ass and they're running around trying to make two ends meet. And yet we're writing checks for $60 billion, $20 billion. I'm just saying. I mean, I hope a lot of the folks out there are getting on the train with me here on this because this is just, not only is it insanity, it's just horseshit. I started looking, I'm like, $60 billion. I'm like, holy shit. What we could have did with $60 billion. And you know what Americans do with that? We reinvest it. That's right. We buy shit. We love buying shit. We didn't used to. When I grew up, we didn't, but now we do. So, it's not a sunk cost in, like they say in business, right? Where you just you take the money and you buy shit or you do whatever you're doing with it, it's gone and that's it. Doesn't affect the bottom line. This would be an investment, okay? An investment. So I'm just saying for the record, okay. If not anything else, and like I said, folks, forget what team you play for. I don't really give a shit about this. Everybody should be good and pissed off over this. This is a lot of money, folks. A lot of money. I know most of us don't really stop to think about it because we're probably so numb to it. But that could have taken care of a lot of misfortunate people in this country. All right? It really could have. Could have really helped out a lot of folks. All right. Instead, we're writing these checks and we're sending them overseas. We don't have any money. We're printing this shit. Nobody gives a shit. They're debasing the currency, devaluating everything. Meanwhile, if you're going to do that, I'm just saying, right? If you're going to do that, great. If that's your thing and you're going to fuck shit up and you're going to ruin us, well, then give us the money. Give it back to the folks. Give it back to Americans. All right. I'm done. I got that off my chest. All right. But I digress. So, real quick, meat and potatoes today is, I know it's a broken record, but I got to bring it up again, folks. Stop with the photos. I just had a guy at the shop today. Comes in, Tesla, expensive car, Model X, wrapped in the ass. He sent photos in, okay? $4,000 they wrote. This is going to be a $20,000 job. The entire car's aluminum, the inner structure, outer panels are aluminum, inner structure is aluminum, blasted in the rear, a $4,000 check. Okay? I had another guy did the same thing. All right? Sent photos in, had a Range Rover, sent photos in, the bumper. They don't even write the bumper. Instead, what they do is they write in there, well, the photo, we couldn't see whether the dent or the crack was deep enough to warrant a replacement, so we didn't write shit. So the guy gets a check for $190. And that's it. And you know what they're hoping with that? They're hoping the guy runs away and never gets it fixed. I don't know. I've been beating this drum, man, I think since the time I came on the air. All right? Stop doing this. You were not obligated to do that. That's a lie. If the insurance company, if the insurance representative, whether it's the claim rep, whether it's a clerical person, say, hey, do you have photos? You got to send them to us. Or they might try this one on you, too. Smoke and mirrors. Hey, if you have photos, if you send it to us, we can put them in the file, and that can help us down the road when we're trying to solve the case. It's not like I'm working on a murder mystery here. When we're trying to settle the claim. All right? Bullshit. Again, I did that job. Not necessary. They can get their own photos. They don't need your photos. All right? They need a scene investigation? Pay for it. You're not a scene investigator. You're not an investigator at all. Right? Oh, do you have photos? Because, we can use those when we're investigating comparative negligence and we'll be able to help you out. They don't need help, folks. What do I always say? The last thing the insurance companies need is help. They don't need help saving money, and they don't need help settling the claim. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. Don't fall for it. Stop. Stop doing it. It's if not for any other reason, you're giving up your privacy, folks. You're giving them property. You're taking photos of things you own. All right, you're documenting a situation. You don't even know what the hell you're doing. You're taking photos of the accident scene. You could be incriminating yourself with those photos. See how fast your insurance company is not your friend when they look at your photos and say, "Oh, whoops, holy shit, oh boy, looks like our guy did do a boo-boo." All right, forget it. Stop doing it. And then you come to the body shop, and after we get through with all the pleasantries, what is it? My deductible is $500. Can you help me? Not anymore, I can't. Remember what I said, deductible. The dollar amount that you told the insurance guys you had no problem paying, even though you're not going to pay it. So when you get in an accident and you go to the body shop, you go to collisionservicenetwork.com and you pick one of our amazing partners. Yeah, man, they love it. They love the discount deductibles. They love it. Right? And even in some circumstances, they can absorb the whole thing. But guess what, folks? When you take the control of your own claim, when you remove the control of your own claim, when you remove that and hand it to the insurance guys, you handcuff the body shop's ability to effectively represent your interest. All right, so don't do it. Now, I know somebody out there is probably, waving their hand or yelling, that's bullshit, I got injured. No problem. I got you. You took photos of the scene. You took photos of the other guy's car. You got injured. That's great. Maybe your lawyer's going to want them, but I'm pretty sure your lawyer would say the same thing. Don't give anything to the insurance company. Don't say anything to the insurance company. I got injured. I had a bad accident. I told you guys about that if you followed me on the radio, right? I was banged up. I had surgery, okay? The whole 9 yards. It was miserable. It was a really hellacious experience, the whole damn thing, which it usually is. Had a lawyer. All right, didn't really work out that great. I didn't really do my diligence. I should have probably used somebody else. I'm not going to name them. But at any rate, the point is once I signed all the papers and said, "Hey, you guys are it, man. You're representing me." You know what the first thing the attorney told me? That's the last time you say shit to the insurance company. That was it. He says, "I don't care if they're calling you up to send in a pencil or something." He says, "You're not talking to them anymore." Bam. End of the story. Okay? They sent the letter out. "Hey, we're representing Mr. Crouch." That was it. All right? So if you want to take photos to preserve evidence, quote unquote, preserve evidence, right? Terrific. Do it. Just give them to your attorney. Don't give them the insurance companies. Folks, I'm dead serious on this. Stop doing this. This is the worst thing that ever happened. All right? Not to mention, okay, if you give a crap about people's ability to make a living, this is helping the insurance company eliminate good-paying jobs, technical jobs that people can make a living on, make a career out of. Make no mistake about it, that's what the end all of this is. And you're just going to help them do that. And, I don't believe they're helping you, right? When they ask you to take pictures, do they say, "Hey, we're going to send you a check for $10? Do they say, "We're going to give you a discount on your premium"? No, they don't give a shit. They're just like, "Hey, thanks a lot." Well, remember, folks, it's a privacy issue. You're giving up property. You're giving up privacy. You're surrendering that. As soon as you send photos, and remember what I just said, you're sending photos into the scenes, photos in of each car, the damages, all right? That can be used against you just as it can be used for you. I know you don't think about that because everybody goes out there, happy dick, taking pics. Woo, I take pictures. Woo, I'm so good. The insurance company asked me. I want to send them. And all of a sudden, that comes back to bite you in the ass. Or how about this? You take pictures and they open up an investigation on you. They're not going to tell you that. They go, "Oh, Mr. Insured, thanks a lot for sending the photo. Oh, by the way, we saw things we didn't like, so we're going to start investigating you." "Oh, all right, cool. Thanks a lot." That's not going to happen, folks. I know I've been involved in that. I've been on the other side of that issue, all right, both with a body shop and an insured. It's not nice. Believe me, you don't want to be that one. You want to be that guy getting that phone call, all right, from the special investigation unit. It's not good. Stop doing it. No, just say no. We resurrected the old Nancy Reagan program on the radio show. She used to say, "Just say no to drugs." We're saying, just say no to the insurance company. No. It's as simple as that. When they start with all their bullshit and smoke and mirrors, "Well, we just want you to send photos so we can put them in the file and, it might help us." And, "It's okay. I'm good. Have your guy come out and look at my car at the Collision Service Network shop. Those guys are great. They're going to help me out. I'm good." That's it. or just say, no, I'm not doing it. All right? There's no insurance company police. All right? It's all horse shit. They're not going to come get you. They're not going to look into you. They're not going to drop you. Oh, we're going to drop him because he didn't send photos. Bullshit. All right? Just stop doing it, folks. You want to retain control. You do. You pay a premium. We all do. We pay a lot of money day in, day out, year in, year out. All right? The only time that you and I recognize any benefit from all of that money and all of that time is at the point, what I call the point of need. In business, you would call it the point of purchase. Point of need. That's it. The only time you realize how good an insurance company you have, or how bad, or how much, or how little coverage you paid for, is at that point of need. You had an accident. This is it. Get the phone, honey. We got to call them up. They told us they were going to be there for us 20 years ago. Right? And then you find out what kind of a crap insurance company you had. Hopefully not. I mean, hopefully you got, you with the good company. But obviously not the time to find that out. Right? And don't remember the deductible issue, folks. Right? CollisionServiceNetwork.com. We pride ourselves on many of our partner shops, all right, pride themselves on being able to extend discounts on that. That's great. All right. But if you're giving up control of the claim to the insurance people, all right, that ties their hands. That makes it much more difficult for them to negotiate effectively and to represent you effectively. All right. So don't do it. Just say no. Remember the old Nancy Reagan? She used to say no. Say no to drugs. Say no to the insurance guys. They're not going to like you any more or any less. That doesn't matter. All right. So before we wrap it up here, I don't want to go that long in the tooth. People are falling asleep instead of being excited. I want people excited. I want to get people worked up, pumped up. Hopefully, fist bumping right now, saying, yeah, that guy's right, man. F them. Those guys, all they want to do is take our money and then screw us. And they kind of do, right? Again, I'm sure there's some naysayers, this guy's demonizing the insurance. I work for the insurance companies. That's bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's true. And I'm not demonizing the insurance industry, all right? So if that's where you're going with that out there, you're all wrong, all right? The insurance industry fills a need, obviously, all right? It's a need that we have to have an organized, civilized society, all right? We couldn't operate. We couldn't facilitate without knowing that we were all insured to the degree of the extent that we need or can afford or feel that we're comfortable with. And that's all good. They have a purpose and a point, obviously. We at CollisionServiceNetwork.com just think what? Right? What do I always say? We always say that role should be very limited. Folks, the insurance companies do one thing, insure. They don't fix cars. They're not involved in repairs or painting. They're not involved in anything. They do insurance, and that's what they do good. Sometimes. They don't even do that good. But that's their thing. Right? So, remember, that's insurance. They're not in the auto body industry. They're in the insurance industry. I don't think they understand that anymore. It's kind of a gray area, and then they got rid of the gray area and just came right into the collision side. All right? But it's not demonizing them. It's just calling it out for what it is. All right? They're not necessarily your friend. It's like when you call the police. When you call the police, they're not always your friend. Okay? Police are showing up. They got a job to do. Nothing personal. That's that guy or that girl's job. Same with the insurance company. They're not necessarily your friend. All right? But we're your friend. Yes, we are. CollisionServiceNetwork.com. We're your friend. All right? We got your back. We got the information and knowledge you need and can use and the advice you can trust. And don't forget that. All right, on that, I think we're going to wrap it up. All right, until next time, stay tuned. All right, and stay juiced.